Good evening everybody, and a very warm welcome to Mildenhall and Districts. And today is the Susannah's Christmas cracker. So I've been looking forward to bringing you this video for some time, and today you're finally going to get to see what I've been up to and over these last few months. And there's finally going to be some trains running also. And even today it's been more like a Christmas nightmare video than it is actually a Christmas cracker video, because it's just I've been having ongoing issues with my links, with my solder joints, and I need to get them sorted out once and for all because it's actually driving me bananas. But nonetheless, there is a Christmas video to watch, and we're going to crack on by let me showing you a couple of bits. I've got an early Christmas present. It's one I've got for myself, and it's something that's been newly released, something that I've been looking forward to, and that is this. And this is a Dapple Class 59, and this is in the DB Schenker red version. And we'll be looking at this a little bit more closely later on in another video, but I'll just give you a brief sort of look at it, just so you can see it in the box. I'm actually waiting on a decoder for it, and I'm going to hopefully pick one up tomorrow. So that's what it is. It's been test run on DC, so it does run. Whether it runs on DCC is something else. I've heard some mixed reviews about this Apple 59, but I have to say I have been looking forward to this particular 59. This 59 has been, the reason why I got this 59 is because it is run a lot in this part of the world, and I've seen it many times around Reading West, and so it is a locomotive that is actually familiar to me, and I've seen it plenty of times, so I had to have it on the layout. It spends a lot of time around this part of the world. Something else, and I got this for my birthday. This is a birthday treat. My birthday was only a few weeks ago, just under a month ago, or just over, I should say, actually. And you will see this not any actual in person, but you'll see it through the eyes of the camera. And basically, what I bought was it's a really nifty little RC little car. And Graham Falston over at Lakeside touched upon this recently on his videos when he's doing the canal scene, and how he's actually propelling the barge, the narrowboat I should say, and this is basically the same thing, except it's not a Mini, it's actually more like a Mazda RX-7, although they don't call it, I'm assuming it's product licensing. And basically this is a 1/76 scale, as you can see in the box, 1/76 scale turbo racing little car. And in here you get a little tiny little car, which is 1/76 scale, and it basically is a radio controlled car, and this little car will be running on my layout a little later on the video, and it will show you the driver's eye view from a lorry driver. Now I have to say that particular part of the video probably will come across not so great, because it seems like it's racing at 100 miles an hour, because even though you're going slow, it just comes across like it's going really quick. So I'm still playing about with it, and I'm still learning it, and I'm definitely not using it for what its intended use. This is kind of what they call for tabletop racing, where you get a selection of little cars, and it's just basically so you can race it on your tabletop. Create a little grid on your tabletop and you race the cars. Basically that's what it's used for. It's not really used for model railways, although I'm bringing it into my model railway world to add a different dimension, and I haven't seen anybody do this kind of thing, so hopefully you'll enjoy it. There's only a certain amount of space, so it's not going to take very long. It's only going to be on the main part of the layout that you'll see, and if I take it out of its box, you'll see what you get. And there you go. Now you get this little charger. So you charge it up, you can charge it up via the USB socket, if you've got one of those, or a USB charger. And that is the little car there, that's it there. And these two are spare body shells, and it's got spare spoilers. So if you want to custom make your own custom paint job, you can do. That little dial is for the trigger. So if I pull this out, you'll see that there's a little car. Now, you probably can also see that I've added a little bit of Velcro on the top, and that's to mount the camera, which is what I did. So you don't get Velcro. And then you've got the trigger here. Like so. And then you just slip it in. If I can do it. So slide it in. Oh, here we go. But eventually I get to do it. There you go. And that's it. You've got your trigger here. There you go. That's the trigger. That's the steering wheel. And these are various adjustments which you can use. Like I said, if you are interested, please have a look on YouTube, Turbo Racing 176 scale, and you'll find out all about it. This is the little car, said little car. And like I said, I've just added the Velcro. The Velcro didn't come with it. I added it just because I wanted to put the camera on the top. And let me get another car very similar. So this is a recent purchase, an Audi TT from Oxford Diecast. If you put them close together, you can see the scale is pretty much the same. So this is a really little mini, tiny little mini RC little car with working headlights, tail lights and brake lights. And it goes like the clappers. So you'll get to see that later on in the video. And again, like I said, this is the Turbo Racing 176 scale. Tiny little box, tiny little car, tiny little handset, and it whizzes around my layout. It can't whiz around all my layout because obviously I don't have a road to go all the way around. In this video, you'll get to see a daytime cab ride, a nighttime cab ride, and you'll also get to see the drive around the layout. And what I'm also going to do is, once you've seen all that, I'm just going to have a brief little tour with all the lights and give you a brief sort of overview of the layout as things stand, so you can see things in a bit more detail. So without further ado, let's get cracking and get onto the cab rides, which is the bit I'm sure you're really, really interested in. So I'll see you at the end of the cab rides. So hello and welcome to my layout, Mildenhall and Districts. And as you can see, I hope you enjoyed the cab ride, and I hope you really enjoyed and got a good view of what I've actually been up to these last few months. The layout has been pretty much out of commission since I think it's the end of September. So it's been a while since any trains have run. So I hope you enjoyed the cab ride and all the work that I've put into it and all the lighting features that I've put into it. I've put lots of lighting features into this layout to try and get it looking a bit more better during the daytime and during the nighttime too. So I'm going to turn you around and then we're going to have a look at more closer detail at the container terminal, because you're not really going to get to see everything from the ground up. Like I said, the camera, as it goes around the layout, doesn't actually pan into the container terminal as such, which is another reason for doing the little car ride, because you've got a little driver's eye view of the layout. So let me spin you around and show you more. So let's have a closer view as to what I've been up to since I last showed you this area. Now we'll get into the layout itself, but let's quickly have a quick overview to the main bits that I've done. As you can see, the walls has been painted. This wall on the left hasn't as yet, but that possibly will be. But this wall has, obviously, and so has this. And this is to bring the sky into the layout. The other big thing, my apologies if I'm a bit sniffly because I have a bit of a cold, but also you can now see that I've put a valance up, and obviously I've also had the banners custom made. So you've got the Freightliner one here for the container terminal, and then you've got the Mildenhall and Volmer part here, because this section here, this bit here in front of us, is the main bit. That is the bit that I started off with, and then as I added to it, then it became Mildenhall and districts. So we've got the Palmet. I've also added lighting to this as well behind the Palmet, but I didn't use it because it is basically, it's kind of giving this kind of strobe kind of effect. Well, actually, it's not actually coming up on here, which is good. At least I don't think so. But as you see, if I just turn it down again, you can see the difference. So we'll go from 0 to fully lit. So that kind of gives a bit of extra daylight on during the daytime running. So that's good, and that's without adding the additional lighting. Like I said, my printers did all the signage for me. So behind that is a row of LEDs, so I'll just turn that down. And then I'm going to take you closer into the layout, so bear with me a minute. So I guess we'll start with the town scene. And the town scene pretty much is exactly the same as it was, but that will be changing. And the reason for that is I'm just going to change the layout of the road. So it's still going to be there and it's still going to be that shape, but I'm going to change the layout of the road and probably the orientation of the bus garage and the bus depot, because as you can see, the road that used to go off there and used to be sort of a bit more believable behind Mildenhall station is now gone, and now it just looks like it just disappears into oblivion. So I'll have to try and address that to try and blend that in better. So that will probably change here. And that will be, so even though that's one of the reasons that during the nighttime running, there isn't actually any lighting on the bus depot and the actual side bit there. There is on the town scene, because the town scene buildings got the lightings already built in within the buildings, and they're just plugged in, so I can just unplug them. I've changed the back scene. And I have to thank John Warner for this, because I was actually having a chinwag with him about it. This is an ID back scenes. And I was talking to him about trying to get something that's appropriate for the container terminal as a back scene. And I really couldn't find anything really that suitable. And I was talking to him about, I like the idea of the Pico back scenes, but they're kind of a bit dated and they look a bit naff now. And he managed to find This was at the time brand new for my back scenes. It's been out a little while now, probably a few months now. But I can only find it in N gauge. I couldn't really find anything in double O. So, but this is actually double O gauge, and it's like 15. I think it's 15 inches high, and it's actually really, really good as well. And the fact that it's also got a freighter on the back seam, which I really, really like. So if I can, and I'll zoom in a bit, and hopefully you can see you've got the river scene, and you've got a lovely freighter there as well, and it's come across really, really nicely. And I've blended the road into the back scene, so you can't really tell the difference of where it starts and where it finishes, which I'm really pleased about, because that came out really, 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 really well. I've moved the container terminal to the back, and the trains have got KD couplings on it and magnets, so I can uncouple from the back. So that's something else that I've done. Also, as you can see, we've got plenty of road markings. We've also got one of the bits that Michael gave me, and there's some more at the back there. I'm going to get some more containers for my terminal. There's nowhere near enough containers on this layout. And I'm not even being ironic. There really isn't. And as you can see, there's one of the straddlers at work there, and the other one is just over there at work there. The combination of basically the road markings and the way it's laid out is just through plenty of research that I've been doing. The cones, I think they were like model scene cones that you get in the shop, and the barriers were 3D printed ones off of eBay. And then I did what I did before with the matchsticks to basically map it all out. And you can see now where everything goes. And you can also see that everything's deliberately laid out for the straddlers. And that is basically the way the containers just sit on these strips. And I have to do more more markings for those as well. And then basically the straddler will straddle the containers and follow the lines and basically pick up the containers like so. So that's how the whole thing has been kind of mapped out and laid out. And like I said, a lot of it has been a lot of research that I've done. I'm sure it's not 100% accurate by any stretch of the imagination, but I can only do so much. And I think I've done an okay job, and I'm pleased with the results. And it does look like a busy container terminal. And there is a lot of containers, straddlers, and reach stackers. There's two of them at the back. There's one there, and then there's one over there. But it's still not finished. There's still lots to do. If we move down this end, I've still got to infill these islands and paint them all the way around the back. Over here is going to be the parking spaces for the straddlers, but I haven't marked that out either. But they are going to be living there when they're not in use. So I'm going to have 2 spaces, or either 2 or 3 spaces along the back, and the bump stop as well. Now, if I just sort of take one of the straddlers that I have, I mean, obviously it wouldn't have a container on it, but you kind of see where I'm going with this. It'd go, there'd be like part there, and then the other one would be right next door, but obviously it wouldn't have a container on it, it would just be empty. But you can see that kind of looks like it's where it's supposed to go, like so, when they're not being used. So I'm going to do the markings for that as well. And then we've got the ramp here, which I salvaged from the town scene, and I've sort of repurposed it, and I've had to do some work to it. As we move along here, you can see that this is totally changed as well, and this was the subject of the last Susannah's Come Build With Me. That's the little 3D printed thing that I got for what's the word I'm looking for? I know what it's called. It's just on the tip of my tongue, that I got from Sheddering Models, and that's he's there. There's actually a little chap in a basket there, and he's actually inspecting the roof and surveying the roof because it needs some work. So he's just surveying that and see what needs doing. And this is where the main part of the layout has had its work. Basically, all of this has had its work. So as you can see, this is the nighttime effect, and that you get from the whole of my layout. Well, not all of it, but you can see that it does kind of go all the way around. And there's Chaston Road here in this corner. And I've spent many hours soldering, which is the bane of that I have, but these are my lighting, installing lighting, creating my own lighting effects. So you can run it at night, and as you've seen in the video, and I hope you did enjoy the nighttime running session, there is still more lighting to add, and we'll get onto that shortly. So here we are at St Anne's Station, at the back end of the layout. And once again, you probably don't see, this is a different view of the lighting effects that you probably don't necessarily see through the cam truck on the cam truck cab ride video. There is some more lighting. This is something I've been doing this week, getting this back end looked at, and I'm really pleased with the effects. It gives a really nice effect. I'd like to add some more lighting here because there isn't anything here at all, which is where the road is, and that leads on to Goswell. So I'd like to sort of add some more lighting there, so to sort of bring it around. But St Anne's is looking absolutely fabulous. I'm really pleased with it. And then it just pan you around, and that will take you to the nuclear flask terminal, which again you didn't see too much of in the video because the cam just sort of skirted around the outside, so you didn't really get a good look. So we're going to have a closer view of that. So here we are at St Anne's, at the station here, where the 20 is, and it looks lovely. Now that glow at the back there is from the light in the living room, but I would like to add some more lighting along the street scene that you can't see. You've got the vehicles here. I'd like to add some more lighting around there just to bring that up to scratch, but I haven't got round to doing that. This station building by Oxford Diecast, or Oxford Rail I should say, had to be painted on the inside because it was like a glow in the dark building when I put the LED in it. So it just used to just glow everywhere. So now I painted the inside of that, and I've also added the LEDs here, which looks really lovely. I'm really pleased with this. Looks really nice. And here at the nuclear flask terminal, it's kind of a bit of a dumping ground at the moment for my Network Rail stuff that I've got going on here. Again, it probably needs a bit more light. Again, just a little bit, but not too much. I don't want to I don't want to just put lights just for the sake of putting lights for no reason, because you're always going to have dark spots on the railway. It's just how it is. Not everything's lit. So, but I think this area is sufficiently lit and looks really smart, and I'm really pleased with the effects. It's come out really well. Now all of this is powered by 2 AA batteries currently. I'm going to get another regulator for it, and basically if I just switch the lights back on, so bear with me a minute, this switch down below just basically powers all the lights on and off, and it goes basically all the way around across. And I've got these quick release connectors between this unit and this unit, so they can be quickly unplugged to release both units. So that's how it is. So there's only one power which is 2 AA batteries, which powers all these lights along here for now. But like I said, it's all set up. All the wires are hidden away behind the fascia. It's also using the pads that you get from Wilco's and cable ties. So they're all nicely hidden away. They're all nicely tucked away. And also so they just don't get basically knocked by anything that I put underneath here, which is why I've got the skirting around to hide all anything that I put deep below that. But here you go, this is the nuclear flask terminal. But like I said, I haven't done too much to this at all, apart from put the lighting on it. But I will be changing the back seam for the 00 gauge version, because I don't like this N gauge one. It doesn't really curve around enough. So this pretty much concludes the end of my Christmas cracker video, and I hope you've enjoyed it. And all that's left for me to say really is to say thank you so much to everybody for your support for the whole year, and it's really very much appreciated, all your comments, all your lovely words, and I just want to wish you all a very Merry Christmas and season greetings, and hope you have a lovely time with your friends and family. And I hope you get all the railway gifts and stuff that you really want for your layouts. And until the next time, which I don't know when that's going to be, it's wishing you all a very Merry Christmas. And if I don't speak to you before the New Year, then a very Happy New Year to you all also. So goodbye from Susannah, myself, and Mildenhall and Districts. So bye everybody, and once again, thank you for all your support, and wishing you a very Merry Christmas. Bye bye.